one thing when you guys are passing, okay, you have to identify, are they sitting up? If they're sitting up and I begin to get within reach here, he very easily can grab my collar. Okay, I don't want him to do it. Okay, so I have to be here. My objective is to get him on his back. His elbows and his knees so close together, it creates a problem for me. So I can get him on his back by possibly touching the head, his hands come up. And I want to be able to give pressure here and control his shin. When I walk in here, his shin, okay, and his leg is basically mine, because he's gonna start to try to free it and put it on my hip or something, okay? And I can begin to move it around and manipulate it in a way to where it helps me pass. Oftentimes, they'll pull that leg back to try to reclaim the leg, and you don't wanna hold it, you wanna keep it in a seat, okay? So that shin, okay, as he's on his back, you're just basically I'm pushing it to his butt. I don't need to hold it. My objective is just to keep it in this channel right here, because for him to remove it, he'd have to do something like this, or grab my sleeve, pull it, kick it, and so forth, okay? So whenever they're sitting up, okay, I can maybe touch the head, he puts his hands up here, okay, and I immediately begin to apply pressure here, even here. If he grabs the sleeve there, it's fine, because I can begin to move this out of the way and just get past the leg. But it creates a problem for him to create 4 points of contact, especially with the feet. Because if he doesn't have his feet properly set and one leg's dangling, so if we were here and I just walked in, you have one on the hip, you have heel here, okay? And even here, I want to do the same thing. As we're here, I cannot let him pull my head below my hips, because it becomes very easy to lift me here, okay? And to begin to sweep and get me off balance, okay? So whenever they start pulling your head, your butt lowers past your head, okay? From here, I have pressure here. I can break this off here, and I can begin to now control this shin here. Even if he keeps it to my hip here, okay? And he switches here, I can begin to disconnect. If he's here, and he puts on my hip, and he's got the hiva, okay? Right here, and I broke this grip here, all I do is push into him, he pushes back, and I disconnect it here. Or I go here and slide the knee through. Okay, so just a couple of guard passing items here. Okay, when you get the side control, your objective is to keep them flat. Proper side control consists of keeping the person flat. His frames are intended for him to be able to incrementally turn to his side so he can move laterally alongside the mat. If he's flat and I keep rolling him flat, his frames will push me up and he pins himself more. He needs to frame here off to my side and move his hip, shoulder. Now he's on his side. Now it becomes me fighting with my neck and chest, okay, against his hips. And as I progress, he moves his hip and shoulders away, and I'm already in a really bad position and he's recovering the guard. So always remember, when you get this side control, you want to control them by keeping them flat. For law enforcement also, it's important because you can't get up off your back, okay, or off the ground until you go to your knees or at least to your side. So if I keep him flat here, I know that this hand is framed here, okay, so he's framed, so I keep driving him up this way here. If anything, for him to turn away a little bit is better. If on that far hip, I can bring him back this way, okay, and I just negate his pressure. He pressures into my here, and I begin to control him to negate. He does +1, +2 movements. I do -1, -2, okay? And I keep controlling here so that I'm constantly keeping him flat. I cannot go chest to chest. It's very easy, chest to chest, to frame and get their weight off of you and for you to lose balance. Primary pressure is your belly button and your stomach. Secondary is your chest. So this right here is not going to be as effective for me to control as this is, okay? Because from here I can roll from my hip, from my right hip as he moves, then, okay? I can move here, I can roll, and I can constantly keep adjusting. You see how my legs are dynamic, and my right elbow is pinning his far hip. My right hip is against his hip. Even if he does 1, 2 here, I can begin to scoot, and I can begin to roll my hip, roll it on his face, go back this way here, go to north-south, and I can roll the hips so that, and I can constantly adjust so that my primary pressure is more on my belt, my core, as opposed to my chest, okay? One effective way to mount is by switching your base. So what I'm gonna do here is this. I feel he's framing here. Uncle Whip's chewing gum and blowing bubbles and cracking himself. Okay. So my hand's here, and I want my hands more sort of hover. I don't want to create a bridge for him to relieve the pressure, okay? I want my elbow to control his hip, my right hand to be at his shoulder. I can always put my hands down, slide myself up, okay? And this hand is controlling his head. I can pull it, I can control it, I can begin to take it offline from the spine. He is framing my hip here, yeah? So what I'm gonna do is, I'm gonna cup his elbow, turn my hip, go over here, straighten my left leg here, and I'm gonna switch my base here as I mount from here. And I'm already extracting his arm right here, okay? I wanna slide my left knee up high so that his hand, which has the underhook, I have the underhook on his left arm, he has an underhook on my right, on my left also. So his underhook, my underhook, okay? The problem is that if I leave this trailing leg, the same thing will happen what we did yesterday. As I mount, he pushes, he gets me in a half guard, turns, and now he's already beating me using the mount. And this is just another version of what we did yesterday, where they mount, they don't mind and keep in mind the threat disarm poses right here, okay? And they get too hungry here, even here. And he brings it back here. As I mount right here, he goes now. You see that? See how light that leg becomes, and it becomes much easier for him to now go to my back. And now I got a problem because from here, he's got already a jump on me. So you're gonna mount like this. I essentially am in a scarf hold. This is scarf hold here, okay? So as he's framing my hip, I frame back in him, cup his elbow here, and then I turn my hip here, pull, here, straighten my left leg so I don't create a space here, bring my left arm over to the head, and then bring my left knee, okay, to his hip, my right foot's out here, so that now I can step here, and immediately when I mount, I want this knee to go high, and then you can do the Claire, where she grabs the head, and she pulls it this way here, because he's gonna bring his right arm up a bit, yeah, like up my back right there, yeah, and she takes the head and she torques it this way here. Okay, and connects the left elbow, left knee. I kind of like that because it extracts the arm here, and then your hands here, frame it, roll it, control it, and finish. Okay. One more time here. That way. Here, pull it, switch, bring the left knee to the head. And now from here, my left elbow goes to the back of his head, and I want you to look at what's going on with my left leg. It straightens here so the hips. I want to be here. I want to be sitting inside of his armpit here, and I want my head down here as my right hand is pulling his elbow here. From here, I have decent balance here, but not for too long as I begin to now move here, and now my left knee slides all the way up into that armpit. Right away, and you have the arm extracted full. What do you call it? For the heel. So, that way. So, here, here. 1, 2, frame, reverse. Cross face here. If you notice my left knee and left elbow are essentially pinning together here. My hand is here, and I'm killing this frame here. As I now begin to straighten my left leg out that way, and underneath, and lean forward. And I keep pulling this in because I don't want him to bridge. Okay, using that frame here, I have to count it. 1, here, and then pull the head. And then this hand's already extracting the key lock. But what's most important is that you get to this position. You got the mount. He is most likely going to want to bring this elbow down, and I got to keep it extracted here. I cannot let his elbow slip past my arm, like so. To do that, I have to keep my elbow off the mat, and I have to keep it right at his tricep. As he tries to pin it, bring it down, and keep controlling here, okay, and monitoring it here. So here already, we have potential key locks, setups. But for now, let's practice that now. All right, guys, ready? 1, 2, 3. Okay. Yes, sir.